just after the pandemic, I became more serious with not just being consistent. Consistency was never the issue. Injuries were, and you know about the injuries. So I know that I needed someone to help me to push.
You were like feeling like something lacking your training or your nutrition. So you decide to start searching.
The thing that got me though was the fact that I was now exposed to what a private experience was. It wasn't like a come one, come all. You really wanted to know just as much as I did, are we actually gonna be a good fit?
They don't really focus on their attention on the client and trying to build something around that.
Yeah, they focus on the wrong kind of metrics. I was more particular this time around. I just needed to get back into the mode. That was the perfect transition for me. Everything that I needed in that season, they provided.
All right. How are you, Chris?
Doing well. How's it
Doing
going,
well?
Coach?
Perfect. Nice day in Miami. Weather is amazing.
It was supposed to rain today.
It was supposed to rain, yeah. We never know.
Super grateful that it's holding out.
I always compare body weight like body fat percentage with the weather. You never know exactly, what's going on.
Yeah, but there's always a trend.
Yes, yes. So Chris, tell me a little bit more, and then like for the audience, who you are, what you do.
Yeah, so born and raised here in Miami, Florida. I'm a UX design strategist. Really, it's a split, not just building apps and websites and things like that, but also helping people make decisions. So I kind of transitioned into what we call a decision architect.
Cool. Well, that's really nice.
So, it's taking a lot of those UX design principles and now kind of translating it to the exec space.
Okay.
So helping people make better decisions. Basically.
Yes, better decisions like fitness.
Yeah.
Better decisions like going out and train.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So Chris, can you tell me a little bit more, like before we met, what place occupied fitness for you?
It was, I would say, probably the top three. I had a trainer, before you and a trainer before that trainer. So there was at some point, I would say just after the pandemic, I became more serious with not just being consistent. Consistency was never the issue. Injuries were, and you know about the injuries that, that I've been struggling through, even with our trainings, which has been helpful. But it's been, how do I take what I'm doing to the next level?
Okay.
So I know that I needed someone to help me to become, to push a little bit further. And so at some point though, I realized that at each phase I outgrew a trainer. So the first trainer, it was focusing on, just kind of lifting, but I needed more metrics. Second trainer, there were some metrics and I liked the studio vibe. And that's when I got exposed to, a smaller
private setup.
Yeah. A private setup. And there still wasn't as holistic. And then when we met, that's when I realized, as you were talking about nutrition,
every
you were
piece.
And how you were obsessed. That's the other thing too. You weren't just obsessed about the business. You're obsessed about the outcome for your clients.
Yes.
And I saw that.
Yes. So okay. Don't get too crazy. Like I wanted to ask a couple of questions before we met.
Yeah.
So people can understand a little bit more about your background.
Yeah.
So you were trying with trainers before. What like didn't lack of the process? Like what did you say? Like either the not accountability from your end because you were a very consistent person,
right,
but something in the programming, on the plan, the nutrition.
In comparison?
Yes.
Yeah. So it wasn't anything wrong with the trainers. It was just where I was. And I learned that, depending on who you are and where you are, there's going to be a coach for every phase or, this just kind of what you need. And I realized that the more that I needed something that was a little bit more integral with my nutrition and really more, what's the word? Just more evidence, not evidence-based, but I needed to track.
Nail it. Exactly.
Very specific. That's when I realized I needed to transition to not just the coach that can, help me feel better.
Work out and then, spend some energy,
right.
But
and I would see the results, but I wouldn't be able to track it the way that I wanted to.
Okay.
So,
that's cool. Okay. Nice background. So at the moment you decide to move on and as you say, and I like the word, go to the next level.
Yeah.
You were like feeling like something lacking your training or your nutrition.
Right.
So you decide to start searching for do you want to talk a little bit more about your experience on the elevator, like seeing the flyer?
It's so funny because it's almost as if, you found me. As opposed to the other way
That's
around,
funny.
right? The thing that got me though was the fact that I was now exposed to what a private experience was.
Okay.
And so when I saw that on the flyer, I said,
Makes sense to you.
it makes sense for me because I'm all about efficiency. I don't want to go in,
Oh,
even with a trainer. I remember this happening before, in previous gyms, not the private ones, but ones that were larger where we had to wait or we had to kind of adapt because
oh, that's
there was
great.
equipment
Yeah.
that were being used or, and of course there are trade-offs, right? You got a bigger space, you can socialize a little bit more. But for me,
You wanna,
in,
yeah.
out, and early morning. So, there's not really much talk. You just want to get what you need to get done
Yes.
and then you want to move about, go about your day. And so that was the first thing, the elevator experience. And then from there, the phone call,
The phone call.
right?
Okay. You talk
And
with me. You call, you talk with me.
yeah, yeah. Heard the excitement, heard the passion, and then we had the face-to-face
Okay, we
conversation
have an in
before
person.
even going into the studio. I remember
Yes.
that as well. And I think that also made a difference,
All right.
where and of course now the studio is amazing, right? But I experienced that before stepping into the studio.
Because of the experience of like knowing that someone in front of you cares about you, like
Right.
asking you all the questions of like, oh, this is not gonna be just a random thing of like what they do with everybody. Like
Yeah.
it's personalized, it's tailored to my needs and my
Right.
preferences.
Yeah. It wasn't like a come one, come all.
Hmm.
You really wanted to know just as much as I did, are we actually going to be a good fit? And it
Okay.
wasn't just, okay, we got another one, It was,
Oh,
let's
because
make
that's something
sure.
like, yeah, because that's something that happened here. Like, I don't know for what reason, like
Mm.
people don't really care. Like they have a client,
Yeah.
whatever, and then like they don't care if it's Chris or whatever. Like they change clients all the time, and like they don't really focus on and their attention on the client and trying to build something around that.
Yeah. It's, they focus on the wrong kind of metrics, right? Not for the client to improve their fitness, but more so for the business. And both are important, right? The business metrics are just as important as the clients, but because you can't have one without the
One
other,
has
right?
to come first. And then
Exactly.
like Chris, like the good thing about me is that coming from being a coach instead of like a businessman before, so I care more about the process and what my client feels
Yeah.
instead of like, oh, it's a number, and then like, I close this deal, and then like
Exactly.
money is important, it's a business, you need that, and profits of course are important, but then like what is the core of your business if it is only chasing money?
Yeah.
You're gonna lack of like the human connection that makes a
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah. Clients aren't deals, man.
They're
And
not,
once
they're
they're
human
people.
persons. Yeah,
Exactly.
like yeah,
Yeah. Which kind of touches on the whole UX thing, right? Because
yeah.
when we build, that's what you're doing. So you're thinking about the person in mind and not just, and not even just the outcome. Because as a trainer, you could have pushed me to the outcome that you wanted versus
Listening to
oh
you.
man, there were times when we had to take a step back and you said, you know what? This will be the deload
Yeah.
week, or, so
All right.
yeah. So you were listening to me as we were kind of growing together.
And that's all like probably our core philosophy, that we try to play a long-term game with long-term relationships
Absolutely.
instead of 4 weeks. Like as I say, it's the same with diet. Like you try to build something in which first you design something tailored to your client, and then like
Yes.
build something you can sustain for longer. If it is a lifestyle, and then a relationship, even better, even better for your business. Like
The LT, well, the lifetime value, right?
yeah,
Of a person.
like you can see, like I walk around Miami doing my steps.
Yeah.
So many business close all the time, and like at the end of the day, like the relationship with your customers and like how you care about that stand out.
Yeah. It's so funny because I remember doing my steps once and I ran into you.
Yes.
And I was like, yes, he saw me getting my 10K.
Okay, but wait a minute. So we have this conversation,
Yeah.
and then you took your time to decide.
Right.
Can you explain that a little bit more, like your first impression with me, and then like what this finally made you took the decision of like, okay, I'm gonna do this with this guy, crazy, passionate guy.
Yeah, so I don't take too long to make certain decisions when I've done the homework. Sometimes it can be instant, and other times I need to go back, and just kind of look at all of the facts, think about the conversations. And so I was more particular this time around. It's interesting. The trainer that I had before this, I just needed to get back into the mode And so that was the perfect transition for me. Everything that I needed in that season, they provided, which was great. For you, it was a little different because I now realize I'm being more meticulous as to what it is that now I'm looking for. If I'm
Okay.
switching, I need to switch for a very good reason, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. I thought about the questions that you asked, but beyond that, and this is, I keep saying this, beyond that, I listened to what it was that you were saying behind the answers that I was asking you as well, right? And what I got was that you were going to be just as, if not, well, you can't be more invested than me, right? But you're going to be just as invested in my growth and in the
Yes.
process. And not just,
Don't
okay,
let you down.
right. Not now that, I signed, signed the contract. Okay, now we're going to move. No, 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 no. And that is what hooked me in. What hooked me in was
Cool.
that you were like, I saw it. It was one of the first things that I remember you saying to me was, you seem like a disciplined guy. So you already are in the right ballpark here. And I said, you know what? Not many people
See
lead
that?
with that. Well, they
Mm,
see it, but they don't lead with, okay, the consistency is what's going to allow us to
mm.
actually grow. Not just, oh yeah, you seem like you have a lot of money, or you seem, no, no, no.
No.
You seem like you want to show up and you want to get the work done and you want to see results.
That's perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are the skills that you need
Yeah.
as a foundation at least.
Yeah.
And it's perfect because when somebody is already, that's a perfect client in a way because it's
Absolutely.
already spending a lot of effort and already hiring someone to
Right.
guide, the way. And for me, it's just perfect because it's like, listen, you already had the substance.
Yeah.
We need to, channel this
The
effort
channel.
in the right direction.
Yep.
And that's what I do. Like, it's my expertise.
Mhm.
I just obsess with details. And then, like, as you say, how you place all these little details from the nutrition, from the whole structure of your eating, and then your training, every single variable matters to me. And I try to, go from, I don't get my clients crazy. I try to go from the simple variables, the most powerful, all the way to the nitty gritties of like, oh
Right.
yeah, supplements and stuff. But first, we are gonna go all the way from which is more important to the less.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
amazing. All right. So you took decision. You say, okay, I'm gonna start, and we start training together.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
So you took the decision, and then like, what happened? What made you feel different? Like, oh, this is gonna be a different experience. When I delivered the program before, like first session,
When you told me to take photos of all of my meals.
photos of your meals. Okay, that's
I
interesting.
said to myself, this is so much like, it's similar to what we do, and I keep referring to it because it's so similar to my profession. Don't tell me, show me.
Show me.
You didn't tell me, write down, what you eat, or that leaves too much room for me to tell you what I would like to have eaten
Mm,
for the day or for the week. You said, I need you, or I want you to take a picture of everything that you eat. And you didn't even say it till when. You just said, and that in itself is a task to do. It's simple, but how many people, unless you maybe, an Instagram influencer or something, where you take a, picture, and it doesn't have to be glorious either, right? It
no,
just
no,
needs to
no.
be I need to see. And that was the introduction for me realizing, okay, yeah, he is going to be tracking and holding me accountable, not just to me showing up. Showing up is not the problem. For me, the challenge was the nutrition part,
Okay.
right? And making sure that the working out is going to be supplemented, if not more than supplemented, but the foundation is,
Supplying the resources.
yeah, everything that I'm eating. Yeah.
What changes for you? Like when you start learning about nutrition with me, what
Mhm.
changes from what you did before, how you eat before? It was the macro structure. It was
It was the
knowing
macro
about.
structure. I remember you saying, because I've read these things, I've learned these things, but the difference was how you decided not a food scale yet. I remember you saying this, like you don't need one yet. And that's something that you typically do is you allow us to just kind of be in our natural state first, and
Yes, I love
then you
that.
introduce something as opposed to giving us everything at once. And then we feel so overwhelmed. And so what allowed me to be more conscientious, and that's the word, a little bit more aware, was the portions. Because I'm a hard gainer, as an exomorph. If I breathe, I lose weight, right? So it was, how do I get more calories in? So taking the photos allowed me to quantify and to see, not just oh, I think no, I can actually see it. Oh, I've only had 2 meals today. I've only had 3, or this is how much I had in my
I
third
need
meal.
more.
And that was what made me become a little bit more aware as to not even the macros yet, just the portions.
The portions.
And then we were able to talk about macros, the
Okay.
fats, carbs, the protein, and just kinda go from
Differentiate
there.
like, oh, this is a protein source,
Right.
these are carbs. Okay. And do you start learning how to allocate nutrients around your training?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like we did this 6 in the morning. You show up every single time, 6 in the morning, 3 times a week,
Yeah.
which is not clear, an hour
Yep.
perfectly. So can you tell me a little bit more, how do you plan your meals through the day so people can understand a little bit more about your eating?
Yeah. So the
Pre-workout.
first thing was, I think I struggled in the beginning with the pre-workout.
Okay.
I think I would show up dry, right?
Yes.
Just show up
Fasted. Like, no,
with
no, no.
nothing. I'm good. And then I realized it did make a difference to have something, but it wasn't just anything, right? It was now realizing, oh wait, the protein shake in the morning actually does make a difference. I mean, yeah, a banana, that's cool, but when you're a little bit more intentional and based on how you're lifting, especially in the morning, you need a little bit more
Yes.
than that. That also, interestingly enough, the type of, I don't know if I can, product placement here with Gatorade.
You can. We have no affiliation, but you can listen.
Yeah.
No, you can take any drink.
Yeah. But even the Gatorade, right? And
Yeah.
even but being conscientious about the zero,
Oh,
right? The Gatorade Zero, which still has the carbs, but not all of the sugar. And so those things really help to boost me up. And then of course, your espresso. I remember in the beginning, I was like,
yes.
no, I don't need
Yeah,
it.
no.
And then I just one day said, you know
Espressos.
what? Give me that espresso, man. And it really did make a difference.
You're one step closer to become an Italian. Anytime you drink the espresso, Italian. So
Yeah.
for people to understand, you
Yeah.
train 6 in the morning, so you have
The pre-workout.
a shaker
Yeah.
with you. Sometimes you drink shaker at home, sometimes
At the gym.
during the workout.
Yeah.
A Gatorade with some carbs. Sometimes you eat a banana, but you prefer the liquid calories.
Yeah.
So with that, even if you are trying to lose weight, you have the foundation, the big cake to start your metabolism and then train
Yeah.
with
Just have
some
the
energy.
Yeah.
And a little espresso. So
Right.
you have a perfect combo.
Right.
Now, this can change for almost everybody,
Mhm.
but then nobody trained fasted at CV studio. Nobody. I banned that from.
Yeah.
If somebody is training or say to me, "Oh, I didn't have a breakfast today," like, go take a shaker. I don't want to train with you.
Right.
Because like people don't understand that
It
there is no
ruins.
magic
Yeah.
behind the fasted mode. And then like, I need you to have some nutrients
Yeah.
if you're gonna push your limits. So that you understand perfect. And then like, never we have this conversation again. You
Right. No. Yeah.
every single day you have a shaker
That's it.
and some carbs.
Yeah.
Cool.
And right after that, then of course, I know there's like a 30, maybe 60-minute window to make sure that you're replenishing yourself, making sure that you get that protein. So I remember you saying, listen, you can have a bowl of cereal,
Yes,
you know?
that's incredible.
And in my mind, I'm thinking, this sounds unorthodox because you don't really
These
hear.
guys is nuts.
You hear
What I did, I trust this guy.
Maybe the overnight oats, or you're like, no, get the Cheerios. To this day, I'm still eating Cheerios, a big bowl of Cheerios in the morning. And the thing is, it's of course with the protein. So mixing the protein
powder.
with, powder in the milk,
And milk.
and just kind of having it that way. And I haven't had cereal
Since you were a kid?
like that. But of course, so making sure that after the workout, keeping within that window, making sure that I have, nice sized carbs, the protein that I need. And I learned that then throughout the day, I don't have to have big portions if I'm, just kind of, doing smaller sizes. So there's some times in which I love the flexibility. I would have, one of the bear bells, right? Where
the protein bars?
protein bars, right? And sometimes that's good, especially when I'm going to work or, just need something quick. I think the most important meal, after the breakfast, after the protein snacks in between, and of course having lunch, was for me dinner.
Oh.
The reason why is because usually for me, I don't really need that much. Once again, psychologically, I'm good. I've
You're
eaten
done.
enough. I'm done. But I had to, in order to
So you
put
push.
on more.
Sometimes you push yourself to
You
eat.
have to push. So
What
this
was
is
the
just
reason?
for those.
The reason behind what I
think
say
it's
to
just,
you?
You mean the reason why I had to push, or
Yeah. The reason why you had to plan a dinner before you go to bed. I told you that. Like, do you remember? Like,
what did you say? No, remind me. What did you tell me?
I when I talk to you about this, I say to you, listen, you need to supply your body
Yeah.
before you go bed with some nutrients, especially protein,
Right.
to recover through the night, and then wake up and then like feel fresh.
It's all integrated.
Yes,
Because then, if I go to bed fasted, but there's nothing in
it's a
me,
big window without
it's a
eating
big
and
window.
nutrients.
Yeah.
And your muscles are waiting like, okay, come on,
Where are
give me
you?
some. Yeah, where are you? Like, if you
Yeah.
want to build, a nice physique.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. All
So
right.
and so
So
that's where the discipline for me was. It wasn't in
in
just
the
the
training
working out.
itself.
It was in the actual replenishing, restoring, rest. That was another one too. We talked about that as well. Needed to make sure that I was getting enough hours of sleep. I noticed the difference
When you were,
when
yeah,
I was not having as much rest and then waking up and then showing up
yes,
to work out versus when I got 7, 8 hours in
yes.
and I could
Big
take on
difference.
whatever it was that you're gonna throw at me that day.
Big difference.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. Okay. So on the nutrition side, not many supplements. You don't take many supplements.
No, I think the only thing you introduced, once again, you did it in increments, right? Was creatine.
Creatine.
And that for me, and you dispel the myth. I know that a lot of people think that creatine is this I don't know, this drug that's just like, no, what are
They
you
say so
what are you
many
talking
things.
about? And so thankfully, I wasn't on that side, but at the same time I was like, I don't really know
Yeah,
if I
you were
need
a
it.
little bit hesitated.
Yeah, because I had it before, but even having it before, I don't think I understood the full meaning or reason why even doing it. I just thought creatine big.
I
That's
sent you
what I thought.
a blog,
Yeah, you sent me some articles that showed me an
articles.
understanding, just how the what is it, the ATP,
Yeah, the
muscle
ADP inside
recovery,
the cell.
right? So things like that allows the creatine to kind of help you to work out a little bit more efficiently, during your session.
Even from the, I mean, this is my, this is gonna be the next question. Like, what do you, what can you tell that stand out from my coaching? But like, this is something that I think is one of my asset is I never push someone to do something. I explain to them. Like even from the, you say first time, Chris, do you want a coffee? And like, oh, coffee. People say that it's bad, the caffeine, this and that.
I don't know if did I say that?
And
Oh.
don't feel shame. And I say to you, listen, coffee is totally okay. Like if you can tolerate the caffeine, and then like it's nothing wrong with that. It's just black coffee.
Right.
It's a cup of espresso in the morning, and then like I send you an article of like, okay, these are the benefits of coffee.
I will say you've always sent something to prove something.
And I say to you, listen, you I mean, it's optional, it's not mandatory, but like, why are you missing this when you can, have some boost in the morning? And then like, yeah, you open your mind and okay, I'm gonna try it because there are reasons behind. The same with supplements. Like I never push someone to take a supplement. It is not my cup of tea. But I say, okay, you can benefit from the creatine for sure. Once you build a foundation, when you have a big cake,
That part,
the icing.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Include the creatine because I know it would give you an advantage. So you try and then like see the difference.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was about the coffee was because I've drunk coffee before, but I also know that I had a little addiction.
I don't want to get addicted.
It's like,
oh, you say that, yeah.
But it did help.
It's a nice addiction.
It did help, especially on the mornings when I came
Yes.
in and I was just like dragging my feet. I'm like, okay, I'm here.
Everybody drinks a cup of coffee before they have a workout. A nice espresso before they have a workout. It's a nice boost. You don't need an extra pre-workout supplement, especially for the kind of training we do.
Yeah.
So yeah, everybody enjoy it.
I mean, when you think about it, it's more natural, so to speak, versus whatever the supplement would have been.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah. Okay, so my question is, we start training together. We spend so much time together. What stand out from my coaching? Like, what do you say? Oh, this is different. I never experienced this kind of detail before. Something that you really appreciated for me as a coach.
I mean, there's so many things. I know we talked about some of them already. I know one of the skill sets that makes a great coach. I've experienced this with all coaches is having an approachable and conversational element to them. So it's not just show up, work out. Let's get to know a little bit more about each other as well. Just like, if you go to the barber, sometimes people, they sit in that seat and it's like therapy to them. They sit
Mm,
down and they're talking about, and I think that when it comes to working out, it can be similar. It doesn't have to be, you can just show up and do what needs to be done and then you leave. But I think that part of it was the relational aspect, you know, and it doesn't have to sound like a routine or a regimen where it's just like, how was your week? How was your day? But we genuinely, had the conversations, from work, relationships, vacations, and that, can I tell you, that's probably, now that I think about it, probably one of the secrets to how you're able to adapt our programs that you have for us. You find out that I'm going on vacation. Well, here's what we need to do before you go. I remember the first time that I went to, where was it? I think it was Mexico, right? I think it was.
Mexico.
And it was the first time that I felt like I could just take my shirt off and go out on the beach. And we were maybe 3 months in, right? And you said, listen, you don't have to worry about, the same regimen that you've been doing during this time. Take your break. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go a little bit more intentional and intense before you leave, so that you can have
A
your
week
time
off.
off. Yeah, have that time off. And then when we come back, we'll
Come
ramp
back
it back
again.
up.
Yeah.
And to me, that was such a relief, because for a lot of high achieving individuals, you're always here. You always
Yes.
got to stay here.
On
And you're
all the
just like,
time.
no, have the cinnamon toast crunch. No, take the break off.
Yes. Have some
But no,
tacos
but
over there.
yeah,
Yes.
no, but it helps you to have just a holistic idea of what living life is about. And it's
Yes.
not just about working out, and it's not, being lazy. It's you enjoying life, and having the discipline to know when to balance work,
That's
how to
great.
balance
I'm,
work.
I'm flattered because I am trying to bring that component and I teach that to my students,
Yeah.
my mentorship, about the importance of the human connection. Like you are treating with an individual in front of you.
Absolutely.
It's a soul.
Yeah.
So ask the questions, not like, oh, your performance, your sleep, like, which is cool.
Yeah.
But you got somebody in front of you. You are seeing
Right.
this person 3, 4, 5 times a week.
Yeah.
You are spending a lot of time with them.
Yeah.
So connect with them, and then like you will understand more
Absolutely.
about that. So if you get obsessed with that level of detail, for instance, like I was talking with a client sometimes, and then like I was talking about the weekend and like the new building, and like he brought up he was doing cold plunges every single day. Just because I asked some random question.
Yeah.
Oh, no. You need to stop that. It's blunting your gain. So
Yeah.
let's keep away the go sauna, but not cold plunges
Yeah.
anymore. So that's for a simple question, just an inquire from me, or like, how was the weekend? What were you doing in your free time?
Yeah.
Things like that. Or like, as you say, a trip, a vacation, relationships, things that are included into your life.
Yes.
It is, for me, every single detail matters.
Absolutely. It makes a difference.
Makes a
It really
difference.
does.
Okay, cool. Anything else? Like, okay, that's probably my style.
Yeah.
Not everybody's like that. I like to create bonds.
Yeah.
But for you, trying other coaches, that definitely is different. Okay, what about the training? Because my training, I try to be a little bit different also. Very basic, very plain stuff, very well done. What are you like feeling about the technique, the range of motion, the speed, things like that?
First of all, the range of motion is crazy. I'm going to tell you something, man.
I'm the king in range of motion.
Listen here. So it's another level of extending yourself just a little bit, not so crazy where it's unsafe.
Yeah, unsafe.
Because that's just not I wouldn't have been a client for that much
Yes.
longer, right? But the point is, there. So yes, range of motion. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. It's not just you doing it. There's always a book around or something where you're like, hey, Chris, got to show you something. Or not only that, but if there was a new piece of equipment, and it doesn't have to be a huge thing. It could have been like, what was it? The camber bar.
The camber bar.
The camber bar
Changes everything.
Yeah. Those small details where in real time, certain pieces of equipment or
rotating exercises. Yeah.
It introduced in real time. That actually translates to, oh, wait, as I'm growing, my coach is consistently continuing to learn and grow too. He's not just showing him and saying, Okay, here's the next thing you're going to do. Okay, now you're going to do this. But there's an evolution that's happening between both of us because that's listen, I would say that that's one of the ways that you keep a client for life,
Yes.
right? Because as you're growing, it's like I can't outgrow the program. Why? Because the program is always changing based on where I am. There are going to be some seasons where I'm just going up. There are other seasons where
Yeah.
there's disruption or
That
injury.
that's why it surprised me when you said you grow your coaches, because in a way, like if you're in front of an expert, like there's no way, because I'm dedicating my life to
Yes.
this
Yeah.
craft. So I will always bring value to you. Like some of my clients sometimes complain and say, Valentin, you always have something to say. Like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
my role.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna always try to keep improving, like giving you cues, or like range of motion, or like go slow and emphasize the stretch, or things like that.
Yeah. And no shade, right? No shade to my previous
No.
previous coaches. And it wasn't that they were lazy or that, because looking at them, you can tell that they were still fit as well. One of the most contradictions or hypocritical things is having a coach who's not fit coaching you.
Yeah, that's complicated.
So they were fit, but it was, I think, for instance, one great example is, with one coach, they were already in a structure. It was not their gym. Right. And so there are certain things that they probably were just going to have to do because they're managing
It's a
a
standard.
huge standard. And there's a lot of people. There's another coach where, even though it was private, there were multiple locations in different parts of in the US. And so there's more of managing the studios versus making sure that you have, maybe a dedicated
quality,
staff in order to evolve with your person who is, your client who's growing. So, yeah. So it wasn't necessarily them being, I don't know, unintentional or the structure is just might have what have kept them, just kept them in a bind, in a sense, preventing them from doing what we were able to do together.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
so that being said, there's something special when you have the founder, right, who's
Doing
able
it with
to
you. Yeah.
to build, and then based on that foundation, of course, I know you've got your mentees, and it's gonna grow, or not, it's growing. There's just a difference. There's a caveat that happens when you show up and the person who is,
Yes. Yeah,
the
you're
V and CV studio is standing right in front of you and
Yes.
telling you one more rep,
Yes. Yeah, you're right. And we are not trying to throw anybody under the bus. It's just, trying to, because you try different approaches, and then,
Absolutely.
like didn't like,
And
I'm
for
not gonna say
extended
they didn't
periods of
work,
time.
but at the time, but then, like, when you are trying to find a new level, well, you need new tools and you need a new guidance.
Right.
So I'm trying to, extract all these little details.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So the training was different. And then, like, what about the Physique approach of, like, okay, this is gonna be a fat loss, then we're gonna do maintenance, then we're gonna muscle gain a little bit more. Did that surprise to you? Was a new element in your training that before it was just always training?
Yeah, no, but I always tried to do it on my own. I knew about,
The bulking,
bulking and leaning.
mhm.
Yeah, I knew about that, but there was less. It was less. No, it was structured, but I don't know. I don't know how to explain. There was just more guidance.
Mhm.
The way that I learned was just going online and seeing, how are these guys doing? Oh, they've been,
Yeah, so you take pieces
they
from
bulk
here,
for like
from
4
there.
weeks, or and then so and that's the difference, right? Where you can do it yourself, but you might be missing some of the nuances as you're trying to do it versus having a program that allows you to just
All
show
right.
up and then, okay, here's what we're doing for the next X amount of weeks, and then to be able to track it too.
Mm.
Because what am I benchmarking it against? Unless I'm an expert, right? If I'm an expert or if I have enough experience, then I'm fine.
You can do
But
it.
if I'm just kind of starting out, I'm not really too sure. My
If you're
fitness
doing it
pal
right.
can only take you so far, right?
Yes.
So those things actually matter.
All right. So nutrition in place, training in place. What happened with your cardio or steps? Like, do you remember that?
Oh man.
Because you were like working
Once
from
again, yeah. So hybrid, right? So a lot of it was sedentary work. And you met me where I was, because I remember when I told you that I wasn't doing my 10. I don't even know if I hit 10K before.
No,
I
you
think
were
it was
tracking, but basically below 5.
it was below, way below. And so you said, you know what? Let's just get to 5.
5. we build a foundation of 5,000 steps a day.
And
It's
then
not crazy.
it's not, when you think like in hindsight now. Before I was thinking, my gosh, five. I'm like, how am I gonna do?
Lazy motherfucker. Yeah.
How am I gonna do five? But now, then we went to, I think it was seven, or
Yes, we escalate a little bit more.
7.5, and then and then hitting 10. So I think that even with that, just finding the time, and that was the other thing too. Where am I gonna find the time to do this? To just go outside and walk.
Yeah.
You find the time. You make the time to do so. What are you doing between the break time at work, or you find those nuances? And so my evenings actually ended up being quite different, because now I'm spending that time focusing on getting steps in.
Yes.
It shifts from you decompressing in front of Netflix or Hulu,
At the couch,
and you're decompressing
walking,
walking,
listening to some music or audiobooks or
podcast,
podcasts, whatever.
something, yeah.
But it's
Makes a
just, yeah, that's great. It's a nice strategy.
Yeah.
And like everybody's a little bit different here
Right,
because it
right.
depends on their lifestyle, their job, how
Yeah.
they work. But like, I'm glad that you take that approach and you hit it every single day, 10,000. We took some time, but then you hit it.
Yeah, the average, I was surprised. The average started to hit, 9,000, 10,000. I'm
Boom, boom,
thinking,
boom.
okay,
Yeah.
all right.
So we set everything in place. Time goes by. You start seeing changes.
Yes.
That was blow-minded.
Yeah.
First 12 week, that was incredible.
Yep.
That was a huge change. Do you see yourself crispy abs, nice lines, tone?
And somebody told me this before, and I know you confirmed it, but body dysmorphia is a thing. And I can't remember the saying, but it's like, it takes you, what, 30 days or 60 days to see what somebody else sees. Anyway,
Yeah, it
the
takes,
point
yeah.
is, it takes time for you to see what the other person sees.
Oh,
And,
yeah, you
and
see it before, yeah.
I see it way before. And so I was in this space where I didn't really feel like there was any changes. But one of the things that we do is
The photos.
we take the pictures. It's funny I do this because I'm still old school, ladies.
Old school photos.
And but that made that made the difference. To see the change from day one, because we did it for day one, then to
Every
3
single
months
check-in.
Yep.
Okay, so 3 months, nice results. We keep going, and then like you start keeping, more and more. It's a journey. Like you
Right.
of
That's
course.
what it is. That's what it is.
Cool. How do you feel after? Like the feeling of now you're in control. Now you can change.
Yeah.
Now you know how to manage your nutrition and your training. Like the progress is already there. Now you can just keep momentum.
There's a level of self-governance that happens, right? And this is where the program evolves again. And I think that one of the things that we talked about was you're ready for 4 days.
Oh, crazy. Yes.
And I think that makes a difference. Because once again, if your program, whatever that program is, can only afford your client to come in 3 days a week because that's what we agreed on and that's all I can give you. But the body is saying,
You need
we
more.
need to do a little more now, then you've outgrown the program. And that's part of, what I was saying before, where it doesn't matter what it is. It could be for, nutrition. It could be for metrics. It could be for, the days of working out. And when you said that, once again, we expanded again, right? And so now we're at 5 days now.
Wow.
We're at 5 days.
That's great. Yeah. And that's something that makes me proud because everybody is, starting 2 times a week, 3 times a week. And I'm always trying to, I never push someone, but I like, if I achieve that with a client, I'm happier than just the results itself.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I created these, habits of now working out every day. It's just amazing because it's a habit that you sustain for longer. You enjoy your training.
Absolutely.
You're looking forward to it instead of like, oh, today I gotta go to the gym.
That's how I used to feel. You used to ask me, so how do you feel? Like, I'm done.
You know what I'm talking about? You change the mindset. So it just is so powerful. What we can do as a coaches, if you change the mindset and suddenly it's a change of perspective. Now I'm chasing it. I want it. I wanted to go to do my session and I wanted to keep the process going.
That's good. That's good. I'm smiling because I remember we had this conversation about the levels, right? It starts off with inspiration.
Yes.
Then motivation.
Yes.
Then
intention.
I think we did habit. Was
Then you have intention, which is
Okay.
building the plan and
Okay.
like
Ah,
the
yeah, you're right. You're
direction.
right. I missed that. I
But
missed
then
that.
discipline. Before
Discipline.
habits is discipline, which is the use of
Right.
willpower, and then like, okay, like I'm gonna honor the plan
You
and like
don't need motivation. You don't. What intention? I'm executing. Right. So
execute.
you have the
Yes,
discipline, and then the habit.
the
That's right.
habits,
And then passion.
passion,
And then I said, coach, well, there's one more. And not a lot of people are in this level. And I mentioned obsession.
obsession. Yes,
Not a lot of coaches are
amazing.
obsessed,
Yes,
and you don't have to be, right?
No.
And I told you I will never be obsessed about, but you will see the transformation.
Yes.
Right. It's so funny. I even told you, I don't even think I'm going to be passionate about it. I'm just going to be disciplined. But there's certain things that you become passionate about. If you discipline long enough, it can, the passion can develop. Some people think you have to find the passion first and then you'll be disciplined. But I think more times than not, it's the other way around. You work your way up to what you become passionate or even obsessed about. Coach, you indeed
That's
are
great.
obsessed.
Yes, I am.
But to our benefit as clients.
Yes, it's a blessing and a curse sometimes.
Yeah.
I tell you,
Yeah.
you experience the ecstasy and the agony
Yeah.
sometimes of like being too involved,
Absolutely.
too invest, because sometimes, as you say, we build a beautiful team and like we create something beautiful.
Yeah.
But sometimes you try to do the same, and then like the other side, they lack the commitment, which is I hate the commitment, or like with themselves. It's not with me, it's with
You
themselves.
become more invested.
It's not
than
just
they are.
paying. Being a coach is not just, okay, I'm going to start this process. I'm going to pay a coach. I'm going to hire this coach. And then that's it. It's like, no, now you and I, we had to do something.
Yeah.
So it's just the starting point. And then sometimes people don't show up. They create these excuses and cancellations. And like, so anytime I got the opportunity to work with commitment, a high achiever individual, I am glad for that.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you attract that because it's what you are, and that's
Real
great.
recognize real, like they say.
You recognize that, and you say, okay, this is. I'm trying to be a professional. I'm gonna attract the same kind of people, and then I'm gonna build something important. Because if you take your life seriously, and then your job and your client, like it's a different foundation.
Absolutely.
And like, yeah, that's great. Great is amazing. All right. So, anything that you wanna say?
I mean, the only other thing I can say is y'all need to, where is the camera? If you are in the Miami area, I don't know what you're waiting on. I don't understand what you're waiting on. Hold on for a second. I've been dealing with allergies all day. They might have to edit this part out.
Don't worry.
Oh my goodness.
Don't worry, you're fine.
Listen, CV Studio is where you need to be, okay? And it's not just because of how much listen, y'all, I have seen how the studio has evolved. You can call me an OG.
Yes,
right?
you are. Yeah, you are.
From the beginning. But it's beyond that. I was drawn to this studio before I even saw the studio, which makes a difference. That says a lot. It was because of the person that I'm talking to right now. Coach Valentin was the guy who was not just passionate, but discerning of understanding the type of clients that he wants in his space. So all of the people that you've seen that are up here, we're serious about it. And I'm just going to say this. You're missing out. All right? You're missing out. Okay, anyway.
That's amazing, man. Thank you so much. I'm glad for the opportunity of like you talking about your story and your process. Yeah, like I'm happy we met and we spent so much time together, and I can provide you as much value as possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is just starting. Like there are
It's
so
just the
much to
beginning.
come.
Yeah.
Just the beginning. So yes, Chris say, like we are in Miami. We move Miami. If you are in Miami, you want to get serious coaching.
Yes.
CV Studio is the place to go. You can apply. You can book a visit, and then like we try to deliver the best standard of coaching. So thank you so much for coming today and talking your story.
Thank you.
That was amazing. Thank you so much, man.
My pleasure.